want to talk to you about the increasing number of hotels, particularly asylum seeker hotels, particularly in rural areas. I believe these hotels, the plethora of them, is beginning to change the nature of the British countryside. It's already changed the nature of many of our towns. The countryside is being dragged into this cultural shift too. We'll talk about that in just a second, but I wanted to get your take on this. You will have noted this, but we're going to play it right now. This is our friend Tim Montgomery, sort of not quite clashing, but discussing with Lucy Powell. She is the leader of the House, cabinet member, Labour cabinet member, the Channel 4 documentary about the rape gang scandal. Well, let's just remind ourselves of what happened on BBC's radio show Any Questions last Friday.
I don't know whether you saw the documentary on Channel 4 about rape gangs over
this.
No,
we want to blow that little trumpet now, do we? Yeah, okay.
There was a real issue.
Let's get that dog whistle out, shall we?
Okay, Lucy. Yeah. The councils, there were so many people who were so afraid for good. Can I just finish the point, just for 1 minute?
Finish that point, Tim, and then I'll bring in Helen.
Look, there were so many people in local government, in the authorities, who, for good reasons, were worried about upsetting community tensions, that those girls went undefended. Now, there were good reasons for it, but no one has still been brought to justice for that. So you tell me, Lucy, that this isn't a culture in local government. It's just not true.
Dear.
Alex, so Sarah Pochin, the triumphant new MP for Runcorn, who won by 6 votes in that close count last week, the by-election. So that was a parliamentary election that happened on the same day as the local elections. Her first statement, because she's in the heart of that area, was to say that she will work tirelessly for the victims of the grooming gang, the rape gang scandal. Now, I suspect that Sarah has a human response to the worst sexual scandal ever to hit this country. 250,000, as many as 250,000 vulnerable white girls, young white girls, many of them underage, treated like animals, raped, tortured by male Pakistani Muslim gangs of predominantly Pakistani origin men. Now, Sarah said, I'm going to work tirelessly to get justice for these people because this scandal is still going on. But Lucy Powell from the Labour Party, she thinks this issue is just a political football, a dog whistle. Oh, we're going to blow that little dog whistle. Oh, ho, ho. Has she got no human decency at all?
She disgusts me. I find her utterly abhorrent. This is the same vacuous, venal, vain, pointless, vile woman who wore T-shirts saying things like, I never kissed a Tory. You know, she is the sort of, I really want to swear. I know I can't, but I'm going to telepathically send you the word I'm thinking.
I know what you're thinking. I've received.
Yeah, if anyone's going to respond to a dog whistle, I can imagine who it might be. Yeah. Because it is unpleasant, and it is this sort of bullying, spiteful, censorious, playground, mean girls type attitude, which actually intimidated people in coming forward about some of the worst atrocities ever committed, not just in this country, but in the world. When you read the court transcripts of what some of those wee girls went through, I mean, the things that were done, the mutilations carried out to their bodies, the bestial, satanic behaviours levelled against girls, children, vulnerable girls and children. And for her to puff up her chest and shout at Tim Montgomery and try and bully him into submission, accusing him of bringing up something for some other purpose, that he was trying to make a very valid point about the responsibility that local authorities need to shoulder in their abrogation of duty. I mean, what disgusts me is, well, that Lucy then sort of came the next day and said, oh, I wasn't trying to play down the issue of grooming. I was just saying I didn't like it when people use it for political point scoring. That's what you were doing. Well, people like that Lucy is still in a position of power, receiving 90 odd grand a year from the taxpayer, strutting around the corridors of Westminster like she's the big I am. There's another Lucy who might have made, I think, a less important mistake when she put on Facebook.
Lucy Connolly, yeah.
And she's 32 months in prison. I mean, put those two Lucys side by side. Which is the nasty one? Which is the vindictive one? And which is the person who made the honest mistake?
Anyway, Lucy, I couldn't agree with you more, Alex, and I don't suppose Lucy Powell will be listening or watching this show, but if you are, Lucy, know this. You just ruined your career. It's over. I know that people in high places in Labour were mortified by what she said. They knew it was the political howler of the decade. You cannot treat an issue like that as if it's a dog whistle issue, as if it's some political football. Oh, you're just trying to hit us over the head with that, aren't you? I mean, for God's sake, show a bit of humanity. By the way, we do believe that Sarah Pochin will be exclusively on Mike Graham's breakfast show tomorrow morning, Morning Glory. So it'll be interesting to hear what she has to say about that. I'm sure Mike will quiz her on this. Her first statement was to say, and good for her, I will work tirelessly for the victims of the rape gang scandal. So well done, Sarah. Now, let's get back to the migrant crisis. Now, last week there was a story in the papers, Alex, saying that Datchet, lovely Thameside village town, to the west of London, really pretty place, according to locals, has been spoiled by the fact he had a nice hotel in the middle. I think it might be called the Crown, I'm not entirely sure. Used to be a celebrity hangout. George Best used to drink there, but then again, George Best used to drink everywhere. But seriously, lots of celebrities. A nice hotel. Of course, same old story. 2 years ago, it's no longer a hotel, it is now an asylum seekers hostel, and it has completely changed the nature of that lovely town. People say that property prices are falling, that migrants are just milling around all the time with nothing to do, threatening residents and so on and so forth. So this is what I'm talking about, is these are pretty rural areas. We're used to cities getting their migrant hotels. We're used to, shall we say, the less tourist type places getting these hotels. Well, now a hotel just outside Chesterfield in rural Derbyshire. A nice looking hotel called the Sandpiper Hotel. Until 2 years ago, it was a 3-star Best Western. Very popular with tourists going to the Peak District, the nearby Peak District. It's got 46 rooms, and now those 46 rooms are filled with 80 blokes, asylum-seeking migrant blokes, who apparently are terrifying the residents with antisocial behaviour, loitering on the streets, asking for money, leering through people's windows, and they've been warned, locals have been warned, particularly women, not to walk on the local country trail for fear of foreign men following them through the parkland. So there you go, another nice place spoiled by a migrant hotel. Now, this is a snapshot of what's going on all over the country. More and more and more hotels being seconded by the government, despite what it says, going to reduce the use of hotels. No, they're not. They're seconding more and more. And the entire country, the rural areas now as well, are kind of getting changed by this, isn't it?
Yeah, and actually, I hesitate to say it, but in a way it's a good thing that people in sort of leafy protected areas are seeing what people in cities have had to be dealing with for a long time now. But this is absolutely disgusting. What are they doing? What sort of cultural vandalism are they committing? It's not just the fact that you've got men from other cultures who are completely idle. They're not working, they're not contributing to society, they're not paying taxes, they're just leeching off it. And that's fine, because apparently we're all supposed to bow down and kiss their feet because they've been through such trauma and come from such, fly-ridden, horrible hellholes of countries.
France, you mean?
Exactly, yes. No, but when you read other reports, they're working on the black market. They're having mates over to the hotels. They're smoking weed. They're like harassing girls outside the school gates. What on earth are we doing to our own country? What is this? And how can there are still people in society who are going along with this, who are trying to tell people like you and I, who are saying this is madness. This is madness. If I wanted to go to Oman right now, or wanted to go to Kenya, where I used to live, or any other blimmin' country on earth other than those that are in the EU, and decided to take it upon myself to try and break into that country illegally, do you know what would happen? I'd probably be shot. I'm not joking. Security services would probably shoot me if I tried to break into a country and cross the border illegally. That is just the truth of what happens around the world. And I'm not advocating we suddenly have the army lined up on the White Cliffs of Dover. Far from it. And anyone who wants to interpret me wrongly on that is, deliberately doing so. But what I'm saying is it's very normal for a country to protect its borders. What you don't do when someone tries to break into your country, which is akin to someone breaking into your house, is roll out the red carpet, push someone out of the spare bedroom and say, this is yours now, well done. I mean, what on earth is going on? This is, we're going to get to a stage, Kev, quite frankly, where this problem is either going to have to be sorted out once and for all, or there's going to be an incident where the British people will take it upon themselves to want to sort it out. We've already seen what happened after the Southport murders. We've already seen the incendiary flashpoint, and we saw how the government cracked down on it because they know patience is hanging by a very thin thread right now with this stuff. And, I feel incredibly sorry for the people in that particular village who now feel outnumbered, who feel intimidated. I feel sorry for the parents worried about their daughters. I feel sorry about the girls whose freedoms that they should have been born with and been entitled to for their whole lives have now been stripped away because they can't go and meet up with their mates and walk to the bus stop or walk to the shop or whatever it is that they would normally be doing. Yeah. This is absolutely not right. This is cultural vandalism by the very people that we pay our taxes to afford to represent us, and it's gone too far.
Yeah, last point, Alex, and you've been very vocal on this. When the local women around the Sandpiper Hotel have to be warned not to wander down the country trail, lest they be followed by these migrants, what we encounter there, I think, is a cultural difference, a cultural problem, insofar as these men often come from cultures where they don't think anything of blokes following women, sort of making noises and sort of but they come here and they do it here, and it's not acceptable, and yet they do it.
But they come from countries where you wouldn't see an unaccompanied woman walking down the street. Yeah. That is the point, Kev.
Yeah.
They come from countries where in their culture, if you're a woman who's not covered up, if you're a woman who has the audacity to go to the market without a male chaperone, if you're a woman who, I don't know, has blonde hair, if you're any of those things, you are essentially subhuman. And whatever happens to you doesn't matter because you're not obeying by the laws. You're a temptress, you're a seductress, you're a siren. You have to dress up like a ghost so you don't tempt the men who are, too weak-willed to be able to deal with, loose hair flowing in the wind. They come from countries where that is what they do culturally. That is how they've been brought up their entire lives. Then all of a sudden they land in the United Kingdom and they say young girls who are brought up completely differently, and not just to have freedoms, but actually kind of in modern society encouraged to be quite hypersexualized, to wear makeup and have lip implants or whatever and have long hair, all this sort of things. And when you suddenly mix these two cultures together, what on earth do people think is going to happen? Yeah. Do they think people just land on the shores of Dover, hop out of a dinghy, and like the Men in Black have come with their magic pen and erase everything that's gone before and they're sort of reborn as a British person? Or might it be that the way they've been brought up and what they've been taught about women, about what's acceptable and what isn't, is completely the photo negative of this country?
Absolutely.
It's just reality.
It's a massive problem, Alex, that you articulate brilliantly, like you articulate everything brilliantly.